Minecraft's newest update, the Copper Age, has just come out. So here's everything new and all the changes in this update. The first new thing is of course the Copper Golem, the main part of this update. The Copper Golem of course was in a past mob vote and lost, but is now finally being added. The Copper Golem can be made by just placing a pumpkin on top of a copper block, and you can also do it with the other types of copper to make different Copper Golems, however they all work the same. The Copper Golem also comes with the Copper Chest, which Copper Golems look through and basically pick up any item from it and will look for a chest to sort it in. So for example, if you put oak planks in there, they will take 16 blocks at a time and search for the nearest chest and see if there's oak planks in it or a certain item in it and place it in there. But if it's empty, they'll place whatever item in there without looking for other chests. So if you start placing some other blocks in different chests, they'll start sorting it with the nearby chests. This is a really cool feature and is basically just a sorting machine without redstone. Copper chests has an interesting feature. Basically, if you put a different type of copper chest beside another copper chest, basically the one on the right will just become whatever one is on the left. The next new thing is, of course, copper tools and armor. Of course, we have copper sword, shovel, axe, pickaxe, and hoe. And now the copper armor. Finally, copper has much more of a use, as you can find it everywhere. Copper is between leather and chainmail and armor, but they have something called a higher enchantability rate. Next up, we have copper horse armor. Similar to the gold, diamond, and leather horse armor, this is just a new variant. Next we have the copper nugget. This is a cool thing that they're adding. It doesn't have too much of a use, just like gold and iron nuggets. We're also getting new copper bars and copper chains, which are going to be really good for decorating things now. Next up, of course, with all the copper items, you're going to be able to use an axe to basically deoxidize them, and you'll be able to use honeycomb to stop the process. You can also do this with copper golems. However, if you don't do this and they do oxidize so much, they'll just turn into a complete statue, which is really good for decorating. But if you don't want it for decorating, you can just use an axe to basically just revive it. These statues can be in 4 different poses. Each different pose has a different redstone output, so alongside for building, they'll also have a mechanical use. So I wonder how people will use it. We also have the lightning rods, which can finally be oxidized. This is a really cool building block, and now it's much better. This next thing isn't new in this update and actually was added when copper came out, but there's a cool feature where if you use a channeling trident and hit a lightning rod, and you can also do this with the new lightning rods, when you hit it, basically the items around will be deoxidized, which is a really cool feature that I don't think many people know about. So let me know, did you know about this? Next up, we have new copper lighting for the copper lanterns, which are really cool, and we also have the copper torch. These items give off a cool green light, and compared to the soul torch and soul lantern and just a normal torch and lantern, these 3 are just really cool in general. Moving away from the new copper stuff, the next cool thing is the new dye textures. Some of them look too similar, so they're deciding to make them look all unique. The next thing is the shelf. The shelf comes in all colors for all woods, and they act like an item frame, but instead you can put 3 items inside of it, which is really cool. A cool thing you can do with these shelves is if you hook them up to redstone, obviously not like this because this doesn't look too good, they'll change how they look. So if you put a lever, you can see that they do change, and the reason they do this is because once you click it, your whole hotbar will be switched with the 3 that are there. So they're basically just hotbar switches, which are really cool. As you can see, my hotbar is just completely switching with all of these items inside the things. And remember, they have to be powered, because if not, you'll just switch with one item. Shelves are really cool for displaying items, but they can also look really good in builds. So we have a video with the 15 best uses of shelves in builds, so make sure to check it out. Next up, we're going to the end. This is not too big of a feature, there's nothing actually new to the end, but there's these new things called end flashes, which are just purple things in the sky that just light everything up. These happen periodically, and they're pretty interesting to see. It's nothing too big, but it's just a cool visual thing. These were originally just on Bedrock Vibrant Visuals, but they have been moved to Java also. The next new thing is the Mannequin, which can only be summoned using the /summon command. Basically, it will summon basically a mannequin that you can fight and do so much things with, and you can even kill it. You can summon a mannequin of any player in Minecraft. Basically, here's the command. It will also be in the description, and where it says profile, you can just put anyone there. It's a really cool feature, and I wonder how it will be used. Another small feature is how an iron golem can put a poppy on top of a copper golem, which, if you don't want it there, you can just shear it off using shears. The next new thing is, of course, the background. This always changes, but they're always really cool to see. The last new thing in this update is the new F3 menu. Basically, originally when you pressed F3, it would just show so much. But now, pressing F3 and F6 at the same time, a new menu will pop up where you can just choose what you want to be in your F3 menu, so it won't be too cluttered with things that you just don't care about. That is everything new in the Age of Copper update. Finally adding new things like the copper golem and much more uses for copper in general. So what do you think of that update? And what's your favorite new thing in the update? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe.